affects about 2 million families in the tri-state area alone. Common Core education standards are now the rule for most states, and in New York, they are in the spotlight as the state gets ready to vote on a budget that would spend billions on Common Core related programs. James Ford joining us live to break it all down. James.
Well, as of midnight tonight, the New York State Legislature is expected to pass that budget that includes $23.5 billion for education. A big part of that is the Common Core. But where has the money come from to develop Common Core, and where is it going? They're questions many of us have, and the answers have some people upset. Common Core is the name given to a set of standards designed to improve the overall quality of public education. And whether you feel this way about it,
it makes no educational sense,
or this way,
we're going to be able to start changing the curriculum.
The story of Common Core can't be told without talking about this.
Big companies are creating these exams for profit.
Desiree Hardison is among up to 250,000 New York parents who opted out their kids from tests designed to measure how well students are learning Common Core concepts that were created at least 8 years ago. Most of the early funding for them came from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It spent $170 million so far. But getting states to adopt Common Core involved money coming from the same place that prints it, Washington, D.C. It created the education grant program Race to the Top, which offered $3.4 billion for states' education programs. The states that adopted Common Core got preference, so these 43 states now use Common Core. New York alone has gotten $700 million in Race to the Top funds.
They're not a curriculum. They're not a top-down federal telling people what they have to teach in local school districts. They are a set of benchmarks that kids should know.
But that requires testing. So far, at least $300 million has been spent, mostly in federal Race to the Top funds, to develop tests of Common Core standards. Tests advocates say are necessary
to assess where New York State's multi-billion-dollar investment, taxpayer investment in education, whether it's working or not.
But some critics say it's not working, and they can figure that out without paying for testing.
Continuing to measure, and not deal with the real issues. Issues of poverty, issues of underfunded schools, issues of segregation.
New York State alone is spending $32 million on testing, and one company, Pearson, is developing the tests. The London-based company has not returned calls or emails, but the person who wrote the book about standardized testing and schoolwork is talking.
There's no question that profits drive educational assessment.
I spoke with Professor Gerard Giordano on FaceTime. He points out that companies like Pearson, McGraw-Hill, ETS, and Amplify also provide Common Core software, coursework, apps, and other aids that states can't produce on their own.
They feel they can make a profit on top of that and still deliver a better product.
And those products are really big money. It's estimated that implementing Common Core could cost anywhere from $3 to $12 billion. You heard it, so there's big money coming from the federal government and private corporations to implement and improve Common Core. But critics say it could be better spent. What do you say? We'll have a live chat on our Facebook page, the PIX 11 Facebook page, with the two authorities on either side of the issue that you just saw in that story. The chat starts in just 12 minutes at 6 o'clock. We'll see you there.
James, thank you.
All right, another story to tell you about tonight. We've been talking